Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started as people continue to filter in. Good morning. Oh, that didn't sound enthusiastic. Good morning. It's the beginning of our spring semester 2015. Welcome back. We have an exciting program today, and we're going to start off with our shared governance and leadership within the Peralta District. And we have the pleasure of starting with our District Academic Senate President, Dr. Carolyn Van Putten. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And Happy New You this year and every day. How many of you are here for the first time at a Flex Day opening? Very few. That's good. And it's even better because for the rest of those of you who are here for the 15th, 16th, or 30th time, this may be a good reminder and a refresher of why we do what we do. This morning I want to focus briefly on three things: who the Academic Senate is, what it does, and why it matters. As you've heard, I am the president, your president, of the District Academic Senate, and the District Academic Senate is composed of the 4 college senates representatives. That is to say, each college has its own college senate, and those senates send members from their group to the District Academic Senate to be composed of those 12, essentially, persons, 3 from each of the 4 colleges. The District Academic Senate works on behalf of the colleges, just as the college senates work on behalf of the colleges. But we do it with a voice that is unified because we make statements that apply to the whole. We work on behalf of the whole. We work on setting policies that govern the whole. The District Academic Senate and the senates in general collaborates. The District Senate and the academic senates advocate. And they do so in a reasoned and evidence, hopefully, based manner. Because when it comes to how the institution functions, the membership card that comes from the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges says at the very top, providing leadership, empowerment, and voice to California community college faculty. And on the back, there's a copy of the card. I'll be sure to give you one of these later if you don't have one. But the point I'm getting at is the things that the Senate is responsible for having recommendations to make about and for overseeing the implementation of with those recommendations. Those things are all of the things that make the institution work. There isn't anything that's covered by the 10+1 that isn't something that is essential to making the institution work. Which is to say that faculty in their representative roles as academic senate members have a say, have the opportunity to have a say in every decision and principle that affects how the institution works. If you want to see something change about the institution, then you want to be an active Senate member. I'm not suggesting by any means that the Senate will make something happen because that's not how it works. It's collaborative. And when you collaborate, sometimes you compromise. Nonetheless, you are there for the purpose of getting something to happen together with the other people who are working on the same thing. So those 10+1 areas largely have to do, as you might imagine, with students. And that's probably the most important reason to be involved in the Senate, because there is no other constituency, I will venture to say, that has the opportunity and the responsibility, as well as probably the right, to speak for students, to speak on behalf of students. I'm not saying they don't speak for themselves. They do, of course. But they only get to speak so loud for themselves. They get to speak a lot louder and be heard a lot better when there's faculty voice behind them. And the only faculty voice that does that, that works on their behalf, is that of the Academic Senate. I encourage you, if you have not previously been paying attention to the Senate at your college, to begin to do so. I encourage you to pay attention to the minutes and the agendas that come out from those meetings, and that you have the opportunity and take the opportunity to have a voice that can be heard in how the institution is run. Without the Senate voice, and without a strong Senate voice, while the institution may survive, I assure you it will not thrive. And since we're all here surviving, let's go for the next stage. Let's thrive and show our ability to do so by participating in those decisions which affect our function and our purpose here as an educational entity. I'll be glad to give anyone who does not already have one a copy of this membership card that you can carry with you at all times, as I do, and it will help influence your way of being if you take it to heart, which I hope you will. Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone, and thanks for coming today. And thanks, as always, to Tamika Brown, our Staff Development Officer and the Diversity Chair for the PFT. It's an honor to share the podium with the leaders of the Faculty Senate and the Classified Senates, Carolyn Van Putten and James Blake, who's waiting in the wings over here, and my brothers and sisters from Local 1021 and Local 39. I'm Matthew Goldstein. I'm president of the Peralta Federation of Teachers. That's AFT Local 1603. We're the union that represents teachers and counselors and nurses and librarians at Berkeley City and COA and Laney and Merritt. On behalf of PFT, I'd like to welcome everyone to the spring 2015 term. As most have heard, the PFT offices were badly damaged late last term when a pipe burst in the ceiling above the offices at 500 East 8th Street. The bad news is we lost several computers, virtually all of our furniture, and a number of active files and a lot of active paperwork. The good news is that our archives, which are arguably our most valuable asset, were saved, and that's really largely because of the hard work of our PFT archivist, Ann Whitehead, who's right up here, who's done a wonderful job of preserving our grievance files and other paperwork over the years. She's, of course, also a retired Laney librarian and current part-time librarian at Laney. I'd also like to praise the good judgment of the PFT Executive Council, which supported the acquisition of improved filing systems at the PFT offices a couple years ago, meaning that we have fireproof filing cabinets and mostly waterproof filing cabinets. So again, all of our documents were safe. We also invested in a scanning project, which allowed us to make PDFs of all of our grievance files and put those in a safe online database. So we're very timely in our decision-making in that regard. So that's the good news about the state of our office. The bad news is, as many of you have discovered over the last couple of weeks, our phone system is still down. We do have one master line and one working telephone, so you may get lucky and have someone pick it up, but we are having a phone system installed in the next couple of weeks. Our first set of new telephones were stolen last week by a mysterious Joyce who signed on PFT's behalf. So if anyone named Joyce tries to sell you 5 office telephones, let us know. But we'll be back at full capacity in the next couple of weeks. The staff and I actually have to hightail it back to the office in a couple of minutes to accept delivery on our new furniture. So again, we'll be back at full capacity soon, and we appreciate your bearing with us during this transitional period. Our email is still working, and our website is still up happily. As we said in the last issue of the Peralta Teacher, we will be having an office overhaul party, kind of an office rewarming, sometime in February, and we promise that it will more than compensate for the canceled holiday party of 2014. We'll keep you posted. Speaking of big changes at the office, I'm pleased to introduce our new database coordinator / communications specialist, who I believe is out staffing the PFT table, and that's Kayla Lewis, who comes to us with a long resume in nonprofit administration. Most recently, she worked at Girls Inc. of East Oakland. In just a couple of months, she's really made herself an invaluable part of the PFT team, and she's helped guide us through what's, needless to say, been a very rocky period at the union. So it's been a baptism by fire for Kayla. So please introduce yourself to Kayla and to our PFT mainstay and anchor, Anna Roy, our labor representative, who again are working the table out in the lobby. Next, a quick negotiations update. Talks between PFT and the district on the 3rd and final year of our last 3-year agreement are ongoing. We're set to meet again this Friday morning. With the district in its best financial shape of the last decade or so, PFT is determined to improve all faculty salaries for both full and part-timers and to preserve health benefits. As I said up here in fall, in August, we're seeing a major rise in tax revenues in Sacramento, improved budgets throughout the state for community colleges. We also have about $15 million a year flowing to the district from the passage of Measure B and Prop 30. And of course, Peralta faculty made many sacrifices during the lean economic times, so now that resources are considerably more abundant, PFT and faculty, sorry to pop my P's that way, PFT and faculty expect to get their fair share of the resources. Negotiations for the next 3-year cycle, contract are set to begin soon. In fact, the district sunshined its proposals for changes to the contract at last night's board meeting. To sunshine proposals merely means to make them public so that folks know what changes will be argued for at the negotiating table. PFT will sunshine its proposals in the next couple of board meetings. Folks are understandably eager for updates on the high-profile grievances that were announced here last semester, particularly those related to faculty and the part-time rehire pool. The union and district have been working overtime and since the end of the fall semester to reach some kind of resolution, and PFT looks forward to making an announcement on that issue in the next couple of days, so faculty should check their email presently. Finally, I'd like to encourage faculty to attend PFT's Know Your Contract workshop, which is set for tomorrow, Thursday, January 15th at 3:30 p.m. That's in room 316 at Berkeley City College, and BCC reps Scott Hoshida and Matt Freeman will preside over that session. So I hope that folks can make it to that session at BCC. I'd like to welcome Matt Lanza, another Matt, for those of you keeping score, that's the second Matt of the morning. Matthew Lanza from Local 1021 will take the podium now. So thanks very much and have a good semester. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Good morning, everybody. That was enthusiastic at its best. I'm Matt Lanza. I'm the SEIU Local 10-1 field rep. I represent the 400-plus permanent and hourly classified employees at Peralta Colleges. Can all of my classifieds just throw your hands up in the air? There should be a good amount of us here today. Wonderful. I trust that you all took the chance to rest and enjoy some family time over the holidays. As we all know, spring semester is right around the door, right around the corner, and soon enough we'll be in the midst of graduation, another fun activity for all the staff here at Peralta. SEIU Local 10-1 has celebrated many victories this past year, with some of those occurring here at Peralta. We've seen, through collaboration with Human Resources, Chancellor Ortiz, and various stakeholders at the colleges, we've been able to develop and sustain a collaborative working relationship, which of course we hope to take into contract negotiations here very soon. We also worked with our brothers and sisters in the other bargaining units and the Labor Council to help elect Jelena Bonilla to the Board of Trustees. She's a staunch supporter of labor, workforce development, training, all great themes and things that we hope as classified to tap into. And of course we wish outgoing Board President Abel Guillen continued success on his rise to the top at the Oakland City Council. While the specter of the financial collapse and crisis hasn't faded completely, and many of our members are still struggling to make ends meet, we all look forward to this ever-improving economy. The governor's last proposed budget reflected that things are going better here in California, and he seems to have a renewed focus to help and continue to fund public education. Those of us in the community colleges have sort of been at the back of the line. The lion's share of money from Prop 30 was devoted to K through 12s, and for various reasons, we've been waiting. And referring back to the governor's budget proposal, $800 million ongoing, another $300 million in terms of one-time money, special earmarks for COLA, operations money, so on and so forth. We're looking forward to getting into negotiations and seeing what that means for us here as classified at Peralta. As we look to what 2015 will bring, there's much happening here at Peralta. There's a great deal of change. The Triple SP alone is a huge undertaking and a huge change for those of you working at Peralta Community College. Obviously, our 3-year contract is up on June 30 of this year, and we'll be commencing negotiations shortly as the first Matt stated, the district sunshined their proposal at the last board meeting, and our sunshine document, I'm sure will be sunshined here shortly. And we're looking for an opportunity, again, working with the district, to see what's on the horizon, to attack these challenges and embrace the opportunities for growth, not only in salaries and preserving medical benefits, which are clearly our 1 and 1A priority as spoken by you, the membership, but also looking at other parts of the contract that need to be changed. Shortly, I'll be doing site visits, going around to each site, dropping off surveys, hoping to get feedback directly from you, the membership, to myself, to your chapter leadership. You give us the direction in terms of what our priorities will be at the bargaining table. And as always, your chapter leadership encourages you to reach out to the union should you need advice, assistance, or someone to just listen. We have reps at each site. Please contact them, get engaged, ask around. My phone number and email is relatively easy to find around this place after 3.5 years, so please reach out to me should you need to. And I also call on the classifieds as we enter contract negotiations to stay engaged. We're looking at a 3-year contract, hopefully, some certainty for those of us who've gone through the lean times of 1-year contracts over and over and over again. And lastly, for those of you interested, the chapter is continuing to look for stewards, and on Wednesday, January 28th, so 2 weeks from today, at 5 o'clock at our 100 Oak Street office, we'll be conducting, or yours truly, will be conducting a basic stewards training. If you need more information, get a hold of me, the folks at your site. Let's see, Berkeley City College, it's Jennifer Lenahan, Marilyn Montague, Merritt College, the wonderful Molly Sealand, the district office, your chapter president, Abigail Brewer and Jamil Tier. We're at College of Alameda, Helena Lengel and Ava Lee. And who am I leaving out? Oh yeah, Laney College. Roxana Post, Augustine Rodriguez, and the Venerable James Blake are all great resources for you to use should you need them. So with that, have a wonderful Flex Day. And next up is, and I just asked her name, Kaya Burkhart, the Executive Director of the Peralta Colleges Foundation.
Adjust the microphone. Good morning. I'm Kaya Burkett. I'm actually the interim executive director and very privileged to be here in my 6th week. So I noticed when we were asked how many first-time Flex Dayers there were, not many hands went up. So I'm assuming that many of you in the audience know much more about the foundation than I actually do. But as a reminder, so we exist to support the district's academic excellence and success throughout the district. And we do this by building partnerships and raising funds to support student scholarships and to provide some financial support to different programs throughout the district. We are happy to report that last year we gave away $118,000 in student scholarships. We're happy to report that this year we are on target to be giving away more. And we are also reporting that we know that that does not begin to meet the need of our students, and that we are working hard and have as our goal to really increase that and to be able, for every student that shows a need and is eligible, to be able to meet that financial need so that they can succeed at their college. The other big thing that we're working on, which is relatively new, is Keiko James is heading up an alumni engagement program. And the goal of that is really to connect current students, alumni, faculty, staff, retired faculty and staff, and to build a lifelong community, much like a 4-year university alumni association would do, but to really build a Peralta Colleges community that lasts a lifetime. As part of that, we want you to know that on Saturday night, February 5th, we're doing a fundraiser and community building event at Longo Mari, and we hope that you will think about attending and joining us. Our other big event that's coming up is our annual scholarship fundraising dinner on March 5th at the Oakland Marriott. And you should have all gotten a save the date, and you will shortly get an invitation. We're very excited about that, not only because it's an opportunity to raise money for scholarships, but it's also an opportunity for us to highlight the excellence of the college and to highlight the amazing thing that the college's alumni go on to do. One of our honorees this year is Bobby Seale, and we are incredibly excited and feel very privileged that he is going to return and join us and help us celebrate the college's success. So one of the benefits of being new is that you get to see things slightly in a different perspective. And one of the things that I've been impressed with in the short time that I've been here is how incredibly impactful a community college education is to people. And I think because sometimes faculty and teachers and professors and staff who have who have been here a long time and engage with students every day, sometimes it's hard to remember, because you're working so hard, the kind of impact that you have on students. And I have really been overwhelmed in the short period of time that I've been here. What an impact and life-changing event an education at one of these 4 colleges is. So as a Bay Area citizen, I thank you for all of the hard work and commitment and vision that you have for students in our community. So thanks, and have a great semester. And I want to introduce, I hear now he's the Venerable James Blake.
Good morning, Peralta. The reason why I say that is that over the time in which I served in the capacity as a classified Senate senator, president of Laney, now I'm currently serving as the president of the Peralta Classified Senate. We represent all 4 colleges in the district office, and my colleagues who are at the colleges provide me with insight from their college sites and direction in terms of what is most important for us as classified. We have the privilege of serving our groundkeepers, custodians, engineers, staff, confidentials, and one of the things that we find in terms of being in a position to represent this body is that we get a very good perspective of how we're doing, getting a pulse of what's happening at the college and at Peralta, so that we can hopefully work well with our other colleagues to further our mission of serving our students. And that's our primary purpose. I come to you today realizing that one of the things that we oftentimes look, because we have had challenges in the past, and we're always looking for a hero, someone to come and save us. But in the course of the years that I've participated in shared governance, I realized, you know, the hero is? Actually, you see the hero every time you look in the mirror in the morning. No one from the outside is going to come here and fix whatever we got wrong with us, because no one knows the problems. No one knows the detail. No one knows where things are broken. And so what I'm here to say this morning, whether you are a faculty member, administrator, classified staff, student, we should all be actively engaged in making this experience better. It's interesting to note, I've had the privilege of attending many of the Peralta Foundation events, and I came to a realization last year through a campaign that there was more than 1 million individuals that went through Peralta since its inception. Do you have any notion of what that's like, the impact? Do you imagine what happens if you had 1 million people who were influenced by a system and institution that had their best interests at heart? The impact you could have on this region, on this state, on this country, on this world. We've had experience where some of our students have achieved far beyond what their expectations. We had from, I think it was BCC, a student that became a Rhodes Scholar. And in all her experience, the one thing that she highlighted was her experience at Peralta. Why? Because she saw in this body a diversity that made sense, that inspired her. You don't have to preach in whatever capacity that you are, whether you're a staff member, faculty member. You just have to act in a way that reflect our behavior, our values, and our mission. The students will get it on their own. The experience will be lifelong and will be impactful. But we as individuals have to come together as a family and do what it is that we need to do. I remember yesterday I had a conversation with Dr. Webb, and we were talking about challenges, and I shared with her, we have to function as a team. We're like that professional football team where everyone thinks, well, you get a good quarterback, you'll win. No, not really. If he's doesn't have the lineman blocking for him, he's not going to get very far. Or if he doesn't have a defense that's going to keep the opposing team off the field, we're not going to get very far. We all have a role. We are all integrated. We are all connected, whether you work at the district office or at a college. Everything that you do every day determines how successful we are in terms of assisting our students to reach success. We just need to get out of the way. We should not be putting impediments or things in the way of them reaching that success. And we do have a plan. We have accreditation standards, we have expectations, but we need to execute those things. We have to hold ourselves to those things so that we can realize their potentials. Because we have a tremendous upside, but we have missed the opportunities because we haven't realized that we need every one of us working together. We can't do it by ourselves. Classified can't do it by themselves. Faculty can't do it by themselves. Administrators can't. We have to work together as a team. So we have challenges in terms of our, as you see, there's a Hamlet out in terms of our priorities for strategic planning. And I hope when you look at those things, you look at it from the perspective of how best can you serve to reach those objectives. And I want to leave you with this thought. This was influenced by Stu Scott, who just recently passed away. And I changed some of the wording, but I think you'll get the point. He said, we succeed in education by how you work, why you work, and in the manner in which you work. So work, fight like hell. Make sure that our Peralta students are successful. Thank you.